I think I'm Chris Burns. I'm Darryl Carter's son, and he didn't raise me, and I used to have a lot of animosity towards him, and then I realized that I was wrong because my wife was like, "You need to go and find out what the real story was of why he probably wasn't around," and I started to learn all of this different stuff. So, and it wasn't until he was close to, I didn't think he was going to die so soon, but it wasn't until it was close that I was like, all right, I get it. And I realized what he had done. So, like, if y'all guys want to take the platinum album, that's with Jonny Lang, and the gold album is with James Taylor. So, everybody loves James Taylor. And some people don't know who Jonny Lang is, but the platinum, it's a platinum album. But I started realizing he had all of this stuff that he had accomplished and that he had done. And I found these documentaries. And Scott Bomar, Electrophonic Studios, Scott Bomar and the Bokeys, he worked with my dad a lot towards the end of my dad's life. So they got a lot of things that they worked on. And interestingly enough, when he died, my dad died in Clarksville, Tennessee, with a cousin of mine named Durkee, where he was living over there with him. But my dad didn't have a lot of money. He didn't have a lot of different things. And that's because when I did hang with him, we would go to the record store. And the Tiger, the record store that's over on the corner of Poplar, is gone now. And we would go over there, and nobody has record stores anymore. So we would go in the record store and we go through the CDs, and he flipped through and go through the soul section and turn every album around in the soul section to see if anything he wrote was on these albums, because he's like, I'm not getting paid, I don't have any money, I don't know where these things are. And I was like, well, why not? And then that takes us into a whole different discussion on, drinking and some different things that happened when he was younger, where he didn't have control of his work. And then he started getting it back later, and then he died. And I took everything that I knew, and we contacted, my son was a Stax kid, and the University of Arkansas Law came over to Stax to do a showcase. And the lawyer, Professor Kim Vu, she took all of the paperwork that I had, worked with one of her associates in the law clinic, and they tracked down everything. He was dead, though. So I had the will, I had everything, and they tracked it all down, and I got these briefcases, and in the briefcases were stacks of songs that hadn't been performed, or he had just written just stacks of songs, and there's tapes, and then there's these DVDs. So I remember dropping him off at Electrophonic Studios for this session with the BBC and Cyrus Wells, I think it's the production company. And they brought that team over, and they interviewed him for the Across 110th Street, the song, the Bobby Womack song. But the documentary for Bobby Womack, they interviewed him, and he was in that video, and I think it's only about an hour. And he's in that video for almost 10 to 12 minutes. And there's a lot of interview, and I was like, all right, people need to know who he was. So when you start looking and you're like, oh, these Memphis songwriters, no one ever mentions his name. But he's got platinum records, he's got the Joe Simon songs, he's got the Paul Lang, and he's got all of this work that's out there, including Woman's Gotta Have It with Bobby Womack, which he co-wrote with Bobby Womack. And you realize that he has a legacy and people should know it. So I was like, okay, let's start doing something. So I'm going to show the DVD and the interview that you were just listening to. And I also have a couple of unreleased songs with gospel great Spencer Wiggins that he did with Scott Bomar over at Electrophonic. And it's unreleased music, 2 gospel songs, and they're just sitting in this bag. Nobody's heard them. They don't exist, really. But it's Spencer Wiggins, and he's a legend in gospel. And then there's another couple of songs that he made and wrote with like Don Mancha. And it's a song called The River is Running Red, and it was a social commentary about, what was happening with American wars and things like that. So there's songs in the bag, and the DVD is from the UK and from the BBC, and it's the Bobby Womack documentary, but my dad shows up in it a couple of times, so I'm going to sit and watch it and enjoy it with you all. It hasn't been seen since 2013. Hasn't been seen since 2013, so this will be the first time anybody's seen it. So that's it. That's my spiel, and I appreciate you guys for coming out.
Cool, man.
And that's it.
I think I need to go backwards, right?
Probably. I think he gets in the car. It starts immediately. I don't even think there's
How do
a.
I get that? There we go.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, could you turn the lights off over there?
In the universe is the one
Is that a good?
that's forgiven first.
The bravest man in the universe.
In 2011, Bobby Womack recorded an acclaimed album with Damon Albarn.
His voice in particular just resonated emotionally with me.
I got a story I want to tell.
It was the start of a completely unexpected Indian summer for a musician whose 60-year career has been a roller coaster ride of wild ups and traumatic downs.
Him having the ability to express himself musically has saved him.
I once was lost, but now I'm found.
I think what drives Bobby is people telling him that he can't.
I was the first brother to fight, doing whatever I had to do to survive.
Starting his life on the streets of segregated Black America, Bobby Womack embarked on an epic odyssey.
Break out of the ghetto was a day to
No. Doing what the Midnight Mover does.
They call me the Midnight Mover. Oh, I'm a midnight walker. Sweet soul talker.
There's so many people that are midnight movers. They sleep in the day, but at night they come out on the prowl.
Bobby's collaborations with Wilson Pickett would open up another opportunity for him to repair his shattered home.
Bobby Womack. All the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray. I went for a walk on a winter's day.
Bobby had given Wilson Pickett most of his own songs, so his 1968 debut included a number of cover versions.
Fellas, I wonder what you mind if I talk to you a minute. You know, sometimes we have a tendency, or should I say we forget what a woman needs every now and then. That is, if you want to keep your thing together. Listen to me now. Do the things that keeps a smile on the face. Say the things that make me feel better every day.
Bobby's label objected to the song's opening monologue, in which he chastised insensitive male behavior.
They called me and they asked me, do you think you could get Bobby to take the monologue off the front? I said, I'll ask him. So I asked him, and he said, no, I'm not taking it off.
Bobby sang Woman Gotta Have It. Bobby meant woman gotta have it, even when he gets mad about it when they demand to have it. But he meant it. It was a sincere thing.
Bobby's refusal to budge paid off. His message insisting men show more understanding hit home. The single became his first #1 on the black charts, bringing him a much bigger female audience.
and they cry and they want advice on what to do with their woman, and they have their own story. So I think he's a people's man, not a ladies' man.
But Bobby's ambitions didn't stop after reaching number one.
Get ready to turn the roof up. Let it go through.
Very good.
All right, you guys. That was I know that it was a little bit longer than I said it was going to be, but it was good, wasn't it? It was really good. Did anybody know my dad in here?
Yeah, I knew your dad. I didn't know him as Darryl, but I grew up with all the uncles, Red, Lulu.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, did she call and tell you I was coming?
Hold on.
I'm
yeah.
Monk. Yeah, I'm Monk. I grew
Oh,
up with,
man.
I'm part of the family. I told her I'd come meet you. I
Man.
I wanted to introduce myself.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when the dad would come up to Chicago, he wasn't a boastful guy. We sit around and do what we do, eat, and party, but he didn't ever say anything about the music he was doing. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm all right, I'm all right," and he just left it like that. He was never boastful, and so we didn't even know about across 110th Street or some of the things that he had did with Bobby Womack.
Mm-hmm.
We had no idea. All we did was enjoy his company, coming up, and we partied with him.
Max Quinlan.
Yeah. So I grew up with the Carters,
Yeah, and I didn't.
Yeah, right. And
I didn't.
Lulu told me about when you came and met your dad and how that unfolded. And I said, okay, well, I'm in Memphis. I'm gonna make sure I get down here and introduce myself.
It's really good. It's good.
Just like family, brother. Just like.
And this is kind of the whole thing. I wanted to put this together, and obviously I was hoping for a bigger turnout so we can start this kind of legacy building. Yeah. Because what I understand now is nobody knew.
No,
nobody knew.
And where we definitely didn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
He was doing all the great things he did. What they were showing in his expose. Nobody. He never boasted. He never talked about it. Yeah,
So, because it was. These have just been in my office now, so I just want to take them in, pass them in. What? Can we pop in a couple of these?
Yeah.
Let me see that bag. So I have his briefcase. So Durkee was a lot younger, and he was staying with Durkee at the end. And this briefcase I've had for 7 years. And I just went through it. I dusted it off before yesterday, and that's when I started pulling all of the stuff out. And it's unreleased music.
Wow.
So there's demos, and of course him singing some of these songs. But here's one that he was singing himself, and I don't even know the year that this was written, but it was "The River is Running Red." And I think this is a master copy of the song. So this is like, maybe, I think I listened to part of this once before. This will be the first time people have heard this. And, it's one of those things where what I'm going to attempt to do is get these songs put out. So like I said, this is Spencer Wiggins, who's a gospel singer. If you don't know who Spencer Wiggins is, you have to look it up. He's incredible. He's a legend. And my dad wrote these 2 songs with Scott Bomar, and it's not out. It's not available. So I'm just kind of, choked up. It's good to, kind of get this stuff in. That's him.
Indians wiped out of the way. Japanese
So obviously this is pretty recent. If he's talking weapons of mass destruction, so I assume this had to be written probably right after 9/11. Or something around that. I need to get this released, don't I? That wasn't bad at all. Well, you know, this is the funny thing. He had some songs that were released in the 60s. And they were on Venture and on High Records. But those are like really obscure records. And I think the last time one of the guys found one here, had a copy.
Well, it wasn't your dad singing now. I called Jim and he said, but it was something that he wrote.
It was something that he wrote.
Right,
I think it was Love. I can't remember, but there are like a bunch of these little obscure kind of tracks out there, and you type his name in, Darryl Carter, and you can find these songs out there, and they're really good songs. But like I said, part of the stuff that I found that he wrote, I was able to track down. So I have that stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that we just don't know what. And then there's this stuff that never released. So it's like, what do you do with it? And self-taught songwriter? Yeah. It was self-taught, and he was singing up in Chicago. At one point, he was singing in Chicago before he came to Memphis to work with Chips. And he was in a singing group. So this is a part of the history. One of my classmates at San Diego State was a reporter up in Michigan. And he connected with him, and he had started documenting and writing the story. And I know my wife went over one time with our son, and he was drunk, and she said he quit drinking after that because he was so embarrassed. And I think at that point he became more productive than he had been, and he started writing all of these songs again. And that's when he connected with Scott Bomar and with Otis Clay and Mickey Mulvahall. And Mickey was working with Otis Clay, you know, and he connected with her, and they released the last Otis Clay album that came out, I think, about 10 years ago. And Otis Clay had been traveling all across the country playing that song. And my dad had written, I think, the majority of the songs on that album. So he was really working. And Dave Keller, who's a blues singer, just released the album, and it's gotten a bunch of reviews over in Europe. And a lot of these blues singers and stuff, like you guys said, they're big in Europe. So trying to create something as far as legacy with him and, you know, trying to figure it out, that's what this is all about. And I just wanted to make sure, you know, it was kind of cool to just see him again on the DVD with, you know, with Bobby Womack. And I was like, well, let's show this and then bring some of this stuff and let people hear it, and I can start working on it. But that's it. I'm not going to keep you guys. I appreciate you for coming out. Anybody got any questions for me? I mean, I don't know if I can answer them much.
I just like to say, I had no idea until I saw the Jonny Lang.
Yeah.
That's the only, he just got that for platinum. No, that song was the biggest song of the entire year. That Lie to Me song?
Yeah, the Lie to Me song,
That thing played the entire year.
Yeah.
It sold way more than 1 million copies.
I think if you go to the RIAA website, I think it's 3 times.
Yeah. I say about 3 to 4 million. That was the hugest song. That launched that young man's career.
His career, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That launched his career. He became, blues cat.
Yeah.
Young. He was like 17 years old.
He was 17.
He didn't sound like he was 17. And his thing, he played barefoot. So he was a young white kid playing the blues barefoot. But that song made him famous all over the world.
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's amazing.
Me.
Yeah.
But that's what that plaque is for.
Yeah,
And
that's cool. YXR, I would sometimes just do an episode of the songs, like, collection of songs that your father wrote or co-wrote.
He wrote songs for the Mad Lads.
Yeah, like a whole.
It's a ton of songs. And I mean, and just like Monk said, we didn't know, and nobody knew. And I don't even think a lot of the people in the family, they knew he wrote music, but he never said anything.
No, he was not boastful. He just, when we come up, we just eat and had a good time. He never said, I'm doing this with so-and-so. No, he never did that. He was a humble man. I was so surprised when Lulu sent me the thing. I said, I didn't know he did that. When we drank, I don't what.
If you wrote for the Mad Lad, you ought to talk to Deanie Parker. She might remember. You know, because she's the
He
one.
did. He wrote for the Mad Lad.
Because that was Stax, and she's really the one at Stax that, you know, she was right there in the heart of it. She was here just 3 months ago or so.
He wrote a few, bunch of songs at Stax.
Yeah, so she may, you know, she certainly was there.
Yeah.
In that time period.
I think this is a good start, and I'm glad she's recording. It's my daughter; she's recording everything, so I'll be able to go back through and listen and pull some of these names up. But it's an interesting kind of journey, and it's just getting started. So I'm going to work on some things and reach out to Stax and reach out to Willie Mitchell, not Willie Mitchell, but Boo Mitchell. Willie's passed.
We'll have an annual.
Figuring it out. Yeah, we can figure it out.
Could I
You
hear
know,
one
so
Spencer Wiggins song?
do you? Yeah.
I just want to hear one Spencer.
Oh, yeah, do you
I
want
love
yours?
Spencer Wiggins.
We have time.
We got it.
And here is that copy. Oh yeah, that is the master. These are WAV files. Will that play? Yeah. So one of the songs is My Friend Jesus, and the other one is Sin.
Where would I be without my friend Jesus, who died just to save for me? Where would I be without my friend Jesus, who died just to save for me? I'd be nowhere, I'd be lost if he hadn't died upon the cross. I just wanna thank him, 'cause he made me what I am today. Thank you, Jesus. Nobody but you, Jesus. Listen. Where would I be without my friend Jesus, who made me what I am today? Tell me, where would I be without my friend Jesus, who made me what I am today? I was lonesome and disgusted until I found someone that I trusted. I just wanna thank him, 'cause he made me what I am today. He made me what I am today. I wanna thank him. He made me what I am today. I wanna thank him. He made me what I am today. I wanna thank him. Made me what I am, made me what I am, made me what I am today. Yeah, Lord. Where would I be without my friend Jesus, who died on Calvary? Tell me, where would I be without my friend Jesus, who died on Calvary? I'd be nowhere, I'd be lost if he hadn't died on the cross. I just wanna thank him, 'cause he made me what I am today. I thank you, Jesus, 'cause you died for me, set me free. You know me, you show me, yes. You taught me, you got me. Where would I be without my neighbors? Never let me in. I love you now without my friends, 'cause you've been good to me. You died for me without my friends on Calvary. You made me what I am today.
So let's wrap it up. Boogie on, sister.
Have you met Pastor Chip yet?
No.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming. Appreciate you coming. A lot of those names I'm going to go back through and
Yeah.
get a little busy, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this stuff should be out.
It'd be good when the name, I could make my own
Yeah.
playlist.
I'm going to figure something else out here. I know on Discogs there's a whole list of everything. Yeah, on Discogs you just type in Darryl Carter, and the entire list of songs will come up.
Yeah.
You get the OV Wright stuff. And
Yeah, that's the.
all of it.
That would
All
be
of it.
right. Like I said, if you get a chance, see Don Bryant, because it's like closer you can get with.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
I'm on
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.